I'm on live though. Yeah, I didn't want the lightning to strike them and burn out the plug like before. All right, I think we are live. I thank everyone for tuning in. This is Jamil Salib Zamir out of Manning, South Carolina, coming to you live. This is the 19 Report, a quick overview of our part 3 of universal energy, universal law. I got an observation that an older gentleman gave to me, and I want to talk a little bit about Malcolm and about women, black women in particular, and how we are becoming divided. Women are using this women empowerment. Uh, this process was not something given to them by God, but given to them by Betty Friedman, given to them by Caucasian women who wanted to get out of the houses and become more part of the workforce, and we fell for it. And now our women are taking their energy and they're keeping it to themselves, or they're giving it to the wrong men, and they're falling apart. You look all in the streets right now, you see some of the most beautiful women look miserable. You see some of the most beautiful women look broken down. They're giving all of their energies to demonic spirits and energies that cannot help society, help family, help themselves, and they're producing children from this. So I'm not coming from any source today. I'm going to try to do it off of the thoughts that were given to me as I was meditating today. And I hope that I don't make any mistakes. Again, for those of you who don't know, I am coming on 1 year off of blessed to be still here, off of 3 open heart surgeries and three death experiences. And I lost 40% of my brain capacity to think and remember, but we're trying to recoup that. So I'm going to talk today based upon what I feel I was given. And I encourage everyone from Instagram to Facebook. Again, we're broadcasting live on 3 Facebook platforms. We're broadcasting live on Linked and on YouTube, as well as on Twitter. Again, Linked, I appreciate being allowed to stream live. And this is not, I hope, not so controversial that it will be taken down. But as our people and all people begin to advance in finances and in positions of power that we never had, the uh, the challenge of staying balanced is a part of that. So as we begin to increase in our financial gain, increase in our business savvy, increase in our ability to make money, we have been warned in Scripture that money could be very well be the root of all evil. The things we're willing to do for it, the things we're willing not to do for it. So for a brief moment, this is not the actual broadcast. If you haven't seen part 1, universal law, the law of violence, universal law, the law of thermodynamics, and then the third part will be the law of retaliation. But this is kind of an interlude to that. So let's get right into it. I was speaking with a 70 some odd year old gentleman years ago, and he told me, he said, I can't speak for white men and white women, but he said, the difference between a man with a family is that if a man and a woman are having an argument or debate or a knockdown, drag out fight, he said that a man and then that woman gets into some confrontation where she needs assistance, or she's about to make a decision that will destroy the family financially, he's going to warn the woman about that because he sees the bigger picture, the family, the children, what they will suffer, what will happen to them if he doesn't correct this. It's his job as the protector. So even though he may lose the woman in the process, he's going to correct her or at least warn her, don't do that because that's going to cause you to lose this amount of money that we need for this. And he said that if a woman who is bitter and scorned sees her husband, speaking of black men and black women, making a mistake that would destroy the family or that will prove to lose a lot of finances or gain in some way, if she's bitter with the man, she will look over his shoulder and see him making that mistake and not correct him. She will take the whole ship down with her because she is bitter about a situation. I thought about that for years, and I was outside today, and then it came back to me as I see the progression of woman empowerment and women saying they don't need a man, that a man got to match their money, a man got to match their energy. And I still think about the position that men are put in, that men have to compromise on their jobs not to lose it. A man cannot be vocal as he would like to be in his household, not to lose his wife or get into an argument that causes friction in the home that makes him feel uncomfortable. Most men, when they have extramarital affairs, either end up telling on themselves or not being able to perform properly, bringing back some disease or getting caught. But most women who do the same thing will never get caught. And they will come home from a man, and I experienced this myself, from being with another man, be with you in order to balance out their energy so they don't feel a bit of guilt. I'm talking about this because I'm talking about the demonic energy that is in our children. The children that are being produced from that negative energy. And I was reading an article. If I can find, I'm not going to get into the article because it's just y'all always saying that I think I'm so smart. I mean, really, if I was that smart, I wouldn't be in the financial position or the mental condition or anything else that I'm in today. God gives me knowledge and I share it. If you can debunk it, debunk it. The internet is free. Live is free. You can say whatever you want to say. You don't have to speak directly to me if you can prove otherwise with evidence. In law, they say, trust but verify. Trust what I say, but verify it. And if it's not true, then talk about it. Hit me up. Talk to me. But there's an article in New Scientist magazine as we are going into our third part of thermodynamics and universal law. The title of the article is Matter, Energy, Knowledge, How to Harness Physics, Demonic Power. How to harness physics, demonic power. Then it goes into the same thing. And this, I just saw this article as I came in the house searching for information to talk about what I'm talking about right now. But last week we talked about thermodynamics and the second law of thermodynamics. And this article is talking about manipulating the second law of thermodynamics to harness physics, demonic power. So I want to touch on demonic energy a little bit and then close it out because this is not the actual third part. This is just a prelude to it. Are women withholding their ability sexually, physically, to help a man climb to a position of power just so they can harness that energy? Are they usurping authority in the church? And we know that the church is not a building. We know that the church is wherever a man and a woman is. United, trying to do right by God is the church. But if the woman usurps authority in that position, which God speaks more through the woman, and Satan speaks more to the woman. Say that again. God speaks through the woman, but Satan speaks to the woman. That's why you have all of these young boys who are jealous and envious, these little jits who are killing each other and talking about free my boy, free my knuckle, all of these things. They're emotional because Satan is talking to their feminine side. And a lot of them are more feminine than they are masculine. And the only thing that appears to be masculine about them is their ability to pull a trigger. But in honesty, and in all honesty, the female is more capable of murder than the male. The male is a reasoning animal. The male wants, the Bible, the song says, come, let us reason together. Reasoning is a means of saving life. Females are willing to destroy life to get a point across. This is no attack on the female, but this is the genetic and spiritual makeup of God's creation. So females get emotional and are willing to destroy an entire event to get their point across, where a male would say, we'll talk about that when we get home. But because the males are being nurtured by females solely, and the female feel that her job to help a male grow is to keep him out of trouble. So these males around here committing crime after crime after crime, and their mama getting them out of trouble. They commit crime after crime after crime and run home. When a person decides that their mind is strong enough to create a world, our job is to let them go do it. See, when Adam and Eve, those two in the biblical text, decided they knew more than God, his job was to let them go and prove it. No matter how much they begged to come back to the paradise that God created, knowing that internally they still thought they knew more than God, he never allowed us back in. If you love your children, when they begin to do wrong, you never allow them back in. Let them grow outside until they real. You can help them out there. And that's what people are doing in my neighborhood. They put their bad children out and send them to our neighborhood and are willing to help them out there, but they won't help them come back home because they don't want them back home. But where they made the mistake is that they're still lying and still holding these children afloat. They won't let them fall. They won't let them learn that their demonic energy doesn't create anything but bad circumstances and bad consequences and bad results. So every time they get into trouble, they're right there to save them. Every time our children get into trouble, we're right there to save them. So that demonic energy constantly builds and builds and builds. But the energy is entrophic. The energy is not a motivational energy. The energy is a lazy energy. We talked about that in the last broadcast. It is an energy that lays dormant, thinking about the next get over. And they look for parental, and I'm telling you, Satan has control of our children. I've seen it take control of all of my children, all of them, even my youngest that I got home with me right now. I've seen it. I've seen it take control of me, of my wife. Once we think we're right, Satan only needs the distance between an atom to get into our thinking and manipulate our thoughts. So once we get into our ego and our selfish nature, we right no matter what. The right thing to do, which is what a male usually does when he's in his right mind, is he steps back and allows the process to continue. We got to go through the pain of watching our children make mistakes, make intentional ones, do intentional stuff, go to jail, get killed. We got to sit and watch that. How do I know that? Because Abraham in the Bible wanted a child. And Abraham was finally granted the ability to have a child with his wife. But the moment he had the child, God says at a certain age, go kill him. Wait a minute, God, you gave me him. You know I wanted him. Why I got to kill him? Abraham obeyed. But by the time he got to where he was supposed to sacrifice his son, God says, never mind. I know in your heart that if you had to sacrifice your child, you would do it. So your child will grow up to be a great child because I know you respect me for giving you that child. Listen to what I'm saying. But now that we have children as parents, we exclude God. You don't know what you're talking about, God. My boy, a good boy. My girl, a good girl. And you see them doing wrong over and over. You don't correct. You don't chastise. You don't ostracize. You support. I'm going to take care of my child no matter what. Good. Then whatever comes from you supporting evil, whatever comes from you not checking the demonic energy that is in your home, then deal with it. Don't cry to people about my Lord, as painful as that is. And I'm not talking about everyone. If it's not you, don't hit me up with me being insensitive. I'm trying to tell you something. My turn is coming. I just thought all day today, God, you know how hard I work to try to prove my worth to you. when I don't feel worthy of myself, and the very little that I get from life, the very little, I gotta be grateful for that. Because if I show any ingratitude, you might take that. And then there are others who aren't ever satisfied and keep getting more and more and more. And I see that energy that they attribute to God, this God. No, this is you. Because if you put Satan's world and God's world side by side, there ain't no difference in that. You can get just as much from doing evil as you can get from doing good. Remember your math now. On the number line, there's a 1 and a -1, a 2 and a -2. You can't tell the difference between them until you put them together and try to add and subtract or multiply and divide. We talked about that. If you missed it, go check out part 1 and 2 of Universal Law. One is the law of violence, perpetual motion. The other one is the thermodynamics, the results of entropy. And last one will be the law of retaliation. They just had a young fella, Jada Youngster, or whomever he is. I don't know him. I don't know what group he a part of. I ain't talking about that. But allegedly, he was involved in a crime that caused the death of some people. He got a music career which could have taken him away from running, from talking so much about others being suckers and others being scared. But he would stay on his live talking about, I got this, I got that, you a sucker, you a punk, come, pull up, pull up. And just last week, he was murdered in front of his father, shot 8 times. His father was shot twice. His father gets on immediate. My son ain't had nothing to do with no gang. Now someone comes on the internet and proved that he had everything to do with gangs. That's my point. We won't allow them to suffer the consequences of their wrong, so they become more and more demonic until they can't even deal with their own selves. Then you know, we got drug addicts, mentally insane, which most of them are mentally insane. By the time they 10, they're weed heads, and we let them do that. I let them smoke at home because I don't want them to smoke in the street. Newsflash, they smoke in the street and at home. So to the woman, God gives you insight to things. God gave Abraham's wife insight. You can't have a child, but let Abraham impregnate the maidservant, and that will be your child. She agreed to it till she saw the woman pregnant, got angry with Adam, with Abraham, told him to get rid of the woman. Abraham threw the woman out. Sarah, I think, I may be wrong. Anyway, I think she had Ishmael was the child she had in the desert by herself. And if you know anything about Islam, she was found in the desert with water coming up out of the ground, and that water still comes up out of the ground in the east. It's called the well of Zamzam, where she was allowed to drink from, where she was allowed to be taken care of because God took care of her. Then Abraham had a child from his wife who didn't even believe God when God came to her personally and told her, you're going to have a child. She laughed at God. So women are being encouraged, and I'm going to close with this, to separate their energy from the man. A man can get energy from seeing a woman nude. But instead of him being able to build off that energy for all, and that was the special thing about my sister, God rest her soul, my baby sister, Time, she understood that. She understood the role of a woman in a relationship. She didn't have too much trouble with 1 or 2 or 3. She understood. We talked about it. Most don't. So these demons that come home every day, you can't reform a devil. They're either gonna kill until they go to jail, get in trouble until somebody kills them. Even if they're doing good in life, they can't just do good. They gotta taunt, they gotta aggravate, they gotta prove they're tough. And even if they try to get out of that life, you're in too deep. As Tupac said it, how did he say it in that song? That's the way it is. Someone that are roughed up way back, coming back after all these years, killing him after all these years. He trying to get his life together, but now that person that he did wrong after all these years, they have not gotten over the pain of what you did to them, and they come back and kill you. Or God allows Satan to take the thing that is closest to us and destroy it the same way. So you see mothers and daughters in club together, fake lashes, fake booty, fake ear, fake eyes, fake nails and toes, but they think, oh, we party together. That is really a punishment. Now you can't get along with your daughter, your son, because they are reminding you of where you fell short, because God warns everybody. My second oldest son was an A student. He would get upset if he made a B. But in his 11th, 12th grade year, he decided whatever he was going through, he was going to be thugged out. He got in trouble in school, called me to the schoolhouse. He's thinking I'm going to come there and run down on the principal. I came there as a father, not to make excuses for my son, but to find out what happened. So when I found out what happened, the first thing I said to him is, you shouldn't be disrespectful to an adult. He felt like I sold him down the river. I did him so terrible. That boy was mad. He's a man now, but he was angry and probably still angry, because until you reach a certain point, not in numbers in your age, but intelligence and maturity, until you reach that, you won't understand what a parent has to do. And I had to reach that early because I had to be mom and pops for a while. But I had no question in my mind. The first thing I want to tell you is, don't be disrespectful to adults. And if they're disrespectful to you, you come to me and I'll deal with them. By disrespecting them, you're disrespecting them and my upbringing. So you're disrespecting me too, because they have the authority. So they will go back to all the teachers, all the authorities, all the coaches, all of the colleges, and say that boy was brought up wrong. He's disrespectful, and destroy all of my work as a parent, as we destroy all of God's work and make a new God and kill people on God and sell them drugs on God and rape women on God and do all types of evil on the name of God. But what God? What are you talking about? The whole idea of the growth of us through God's knowledge and God's mercy has been twisted. How has it been twisted? Because someone figured out a way to manipulate energy. And they have taken us through stage after stage of fads and what do you call them? Where everybody's wearing the same clothes. You feel like you're not going to be somebody unless you got a dirt bike or a four-wheeler or some Bugatti shades or whatever the hot thing is. If you don't have it, you don't feel worth nothing. Your purse can cost more than your car, but you got to have it. Someone is manipulating the situation. I want you to think about that, especially women. I want you to think for a minute. You know what you were. You know what you are. You know what you're capable of. But instead of using that, you manipulate that. And God intended for man and woman to work together to see him. Woman is saying, I don't need a man. You're not seeing God. You're seeing this world. And if the woman is not seeing it, man and woman are marrying for convenience. Gay man, gay woman, they just marry to make the image look good. You're not seeing God. You're seeing worldly advancements, because evil has its reward. If you're in a neighborhood and you're the only one that don't smoke marijuana, all the marijuana smokers are going to say you evil. If you don't want to kill nobody, you a sucker. So there's always a challenge. Understand? So the demonic energy, it is a universal law. Scientists are studying it. They have studied it from day one. They studied the black man. They studied how to manipulate and control. George Washington said in one of his speeches, I shudder, I shake, I tremble when I know that God is just, meaning everything has to come back around. And because they knew it had to come back around, they prepared for it. The only way we can control these people is to kill them. And if we can't kill them physically, let's do it mentally. And more importantly, let's do it spiritually. So they went after the soul of our parents. They wanted to make us feel nothing. That's what the rape and the murder. You know, see these young folks with their guns, they think they're the first person that ever seen murder. They think they're the only person that ever had to beat a man to death. They think that because they cut you off from history and you don't know what your people been through. You don't have a clue. So all we got, listen to me, listen to what I'm saying. A young girl now today at 9 or 10 can be raped by 10 men, 10 boys. I seen a young girl in a car with at least 10 dudes, 3 carloads. I seen it with my own eyes. They can be raped by 10 men and get up and say, oh, well, things happen. Because their soul is dead. These children who can murder your child and then say, free my nigga, they think they tough. And they will kill me and you if we say otherwise. But their souls are dead. And God knows that all you can do is murder a devil. Devil has to die one way or another. So you might be the gunner that gets away with, tell he got 10 bodies. That's they talk in the street now. Yeah, that nigga got 5 bodies. You look at him and say, well, is he a king? Is he a god? No, he just a bum sucker on drugs, but he just soulless. So he can kill anytime. They can kill. Now the women are doing it. They bringing the guns in their titties, in their coochie. They'll slide a little baby 9, a 3/8 up inside their vagina to bring it in the club for their dude. I'm telling you what I know. Put it up under their big old titties. They just tuck it up on big old 9mm, just up into their bra. They in it, man. They down for whatever. Soulless. The sex that they're giving to 10, 11, and 12 dudes, all of them in the same circle. Soulless. Oh, I'm pregnant. With what? A demon. Soulless. This is not a game. In closing, the Bible says, we war not against flesh and blood. I wish I could find it, but if any of you know where it is, post it up. We war not against flesh and blood, but against, I think it's principalities. Let me get this, and then we're going to close, because we war not against, can't even spell straight, flesh and blood. I want to close on this because I want you to understand, God willing, where we are. Because I know you think I'm crazy and you're tired. I wish you'd shut up. I'm never shutting up till God shut me up. Because y'all ain't got nothing happening, man. We ain't doing nothing but chasing the frivolities of this life, the sport and play of this life. That's all we doing. Ephesians 6:12 of the King James Version of the Bible say, for we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against principalities, against powers, against the rulers of the darkness of this world, against spiritual wickedness in high places. The things so high that they make you happy dying. Yeah, I'm a bitch. Yeah, I'm a hoe. Yeah, I'm a nigga. Yeah, I got disease. I'm going to spread it too. Yeah, I love sucking dick. Yeah, listen, man. Soulless. You look on the rape report and see how many young people file a rape. They don't file it. They just get up, dust themselves off, go pee in a corner, do a douche, and go back to the party. Yeah, them niggas, they bum rush me. How many, girl? 10. You took 10? Yeah, girl. My coochie hurting, girl. and go on about their business. So everything that appears right is wrong, everything wrong is right. And we need women. We need you to understand the importance of your body, the importance of your energy, the importance of your encouragement. It ain't got to have nothing to do with sex. Y'all overrate that altogether. Y'all get more out of sex than men do. Only time men get more out of sex when they're on their feminine side. And they be in there screaming and hollering and acting a darn fool. But the woman gets the most out of that. So if a man is willing to sacrifice himself for that, what are you willing to sacrifice for him in order that we both grow to God? It's all a sacrifice. Do you know in the Bible they used to refer to an orgasm as dying? When you had an orgasm, they would say you died. They talk about it in Shakespeare plays and stuff as dying. All right. I'm closing. I hope this came out. I don't know. Maybe it did. Maybe it didn't. But I know, I believe it came out on something. Thank y'all for tuning in. Again, this is not the end of part 3. This is just, I had to put this out there because God put it on my heart to put it out there. And I pray that it came out clear. But we're in the fight of our life. You can't dress up evil and call it a God. You can't put big lashes on a devil and call her a god, a queen. You can't do that. Because eventually their true self is going to show. And I'm telling you, the majority of black women think that they are above men. They really believe that I don't need no man. Oh, but God. I just need God. But if they felt powerful enough, they'd tell God to kiss their ass. All by design. But stay up in the church making new rules and skipping parts of the book, even though the book has been tampered with. You know right from wrong. You're not crazy. Usurping authority after it was says, do not do that. The man Adam was weak in the Bible. He didn't tell Eve, according to the story, look, didn't God say don't touch that fruit? Back, put that fruit down. I'm probably slapping her hand. Put it down. Nah, he went right along with it. That's how men are today. We go right along with it. Just sit over in the corner playing. I ain't got nothing to say. I ain't got nothing. You won't even correct your wife with her mouth. Woman, shut your mouth talking to that man like that. If there's something to say him, I'll say it. You're going to get everybody killed. I just saw a video in closing where a girl went and got her 2 brothers to fight her boyfriend. And they come up in there all brawly and tough, and she's screaming at her brothers not to go in the house. Don't go in the house. Don't go in the house. All you heard was pop, 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 pop. Kill one on the spot, and darn near killed the other one. She caused that. She should be held. She knew the man was a shooter from day one. What you expect your brothers to do? All right. I'm going. Thank you for tuning in. Jamil Salib Zamir, all of the platforms. Listen, this is for a reason. This is the most motivational message you'll ever get. One thing about Satan, and I've been around these highfalutin, educated black women, and the first thing they're going to tell a black man who talks like this, when he shut up. They already done made a covenant with the devil. They're going to play the part down to the core, and then whatever God they talking about ain't got nothing to do with the God of justice. It's got something to do with the God. That's why the LGBTQ community, everybody's taking on their own part of God. But you can't play both sides of the fence. Either you are lesbian and you say, I know being a lesbian is wrong and trust God and I'm going to try to do better. Or you going to say, F you, God, I'm going to bite this fruit and this is what I'm all about. Either way, can't play both sides of the fence. And somebody has to be strong enough to speak against it. I got problems. I got my own problems. I grew up on pornography. I grew up on seeing the most filthy sex, and that was the stuff that calmed my brain down. And no woman that was born that could satisfy the stuff that I saw. I got my own troubles. I don't justify it. It's wrong. I want to be rid of anything that is against what God says. That's my closing. Read the Quran one day where the story of Noah going in the search of knowledge and the angels killed a child. And Noah said, why would you kill an innocent child? And the angel told him that child is a demon. And his parents are God-fearing people. And because they love him, they are going to become demons too, trying to protect him in all the wrong that he do. As God's mercy, he's going to kill that child and give them another child better and more in tune with God's energy and will. So death is not over for our children, our children. I've seen the demon in myself and in all of my children is there. If you got any God in you, the devil is there. And all it takes is the strength, strength, faith, the size of a mustard seed for God to enter. And all it takes is rebellion the size of a mustard seed for Satan to enter. Remember, there's an equal and opposite to everything. So if there's a heaven, there's a hell. The same thing that God can do, Satan can do with God's permission. And again, the story of Job, you see that God gives Satan permission to destroy people, to test them. Thank you for tuning in, Jamil Salib Jamir. No, you don't want to hear it, but we're going to talk. Stay tuned. Myself, Dale Castro Powell, should be on one day this week. We got some stuff to talk about. Thank you.